Why do people gotta act stupid? Why? Yo, what's going on, guys? Matthew V. Haynes here, aka the Clockmaster. Right now I'm going to be reviewing for you Get Out. Brief synopsis: black guy likes white girl, black guy dates white girl wants black guy to go over to home. Black guy is all skeptical, is like, nah bro, I can't go there, they probably might be racist. White girl's like, nah, it's all good. Black guy calls his friend and let him know what's going on. Black guy's friend tells him, no bro, don't go. Black guy still ends up going. And then the story begins. Guys, I literally just got back from the theater watching this about like 30 minutes to an hour ago. I had to sit down and just like think about everything. I didn't write any notes, nothing. Just came straight out the theater, fresh review, raw thoughts. So it's gonna forgive me if I don't follow the normal pattern as I do, but it's whatever. One thing I gotta tell you guys straight up, this movie is good, man. This movie is good, and I'm not really a fan of horror, psychedelic thrillers. I wouldn't even, would you even really call this a psychedelic thriller? I don't even know, but I'm not really necessarily a big fan of thriller, yeah, but horror movies not so much. But what I love about the film is that it's not necessarily horror where it's like monsters and evil spirits and blah 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 blah. It's none of that. It's more or less, what's horrific about it is the racism, yo. Now this is like some new level racism type stuff that be going on in this movie. It is so ridiculously creepy, guys. Like I'm like, honestly, it has me, it's like I don't trust no one no more after watching these, man. Like I don't trust anyone anymore, man. Like this thing is just off the chain. It's ridiculous how like crazy messed up in the mind this thing has me. I don't feel like trusting anyone anymore. Like, I gotta be careful who you date. That's one thing I gotta tell you. Careful who you date. Don't always rush into things, because you never know what could happen. Real briefly, the movie stars Daniel Kaluuya, Allison Williams, Bradley Whitford, Catherine Keener, Caleb Landry Jones, Betty Gabriel, Keith Steinfeld, and a whole bunch of other people. I'm not gonna start listing the names, or I'm gonna list the whole cast members. Nah. Everyone does their job very, very well, especially Daniel Kaluuya. I cannot pronounce this guy's name, man, but he does a great job to bringing this kind of like, what the heck? Kind of like mixed with the, mixed with the, I probably shouldn't do that, but I'm gonna do it anyway, that kind of thing. Which brings me to my next thing. One of the things, what do you know? What is the one thing that horror films are very famous for? And this is not being racist or anything. This is not just me. Anyone will tell you this. One of the main things horror films are known for is stupid, well, I would say ignorant or naive white girls that always get themselves into trouble, or white people getting themselves into trouble, okay? I said it before, I ain't racist, I ain't none of that. Everyone will tell you that, white or black, will tell you what I just said. That horror films are known for, and there's always a lot of jokes about, people make jokes about horror films being white people making mistakes, and always, they would see a door open. This is the joke, this is the joke, and the, what do you call it? This is the whole joke and the stereotype put on. This is the whole thing with racial stuff when it comes to movies, right? The whole joke about it that people always make is that if they see a door open, white people will walk in that door, and black people will run away from the door. Is this movie like this? No. This movie is actually kind of the opposite. Something happens in the beginning of the movie, like the first 20 minutes of the movie, where you're like, well, people will think normal black people would just run away from that situation, right? This dude, not only in the beginning of the movie, had several points in this movie where he was running towards what was happening. Me and a lot of other people in the theater were like, nah, bro, go. Don't go in there, or don't walk there, because you're probably, something gonna happen. You probably shouldn't do that. He has a lot of stupid moments, but I mean, besides all of that, this movie had me literally, there were points where I was just like, oh my gosh, man, like I don't, this thing is just so scary, yo. Because like, what's weird about it is that I've encountered people who act like this. Like, they will act like everything's okay, and it's not okay, and it's not good. And then, like, something behind there. And this is, I'm trying to keep this as spoiler free as I can, guys. Something's always bad is about to happen, and it's just always this. And I like, look, I can't. It's just, I don't know why people always, yo. I will say though, the ending, I think a lot of you guys might actually like the ending of the film. I mean, it was pretty good. It had a very interesting ending where you're kind of happy how it ended, but then you're kind of like, but most people in the theater were like very happy about how it ended. So really quickly, let's touch on the technical stuff about the film. I know I was just giving my overall opinion and everything. Let's talk a little bit about the technical stuff.
The technical stuff, the technical stuff. Whoa. Technical stuff.
So cinematography, if I were to give it a 1 out of 10, I would say it's a 10. Why? Because they utilized the camera in such a great way. There were certain shots that were done so well that it increased the intensity of the film. Like, they would, certain close-up shots that they would do, it would literally increase the tension of how you were feeling. Like, you would sit down in your chair and you would feel the tension between these two characters, just based on how they were shooting everything. And not just that, if there's any movie that deserves a sound award, it's this movie, because this movie had some sounds, and the sound effects in this movie were top notch. Like, there would be a subtle movement, like if you were to turn, like with anything, you would turn down the volume and like something would happen, and then you turn the volume, it wouldn't be as effective. But then when you turn up the volume and you add little things in between there, it's highly effective. And I would tell you this, the movie has a good way of, like I said, utilizing that camera to do certain things. It was really, really great. What people need to understand with computer editing and like editing with any type of special effects of any kind, most movies are going to have it. I mean, whether it's mixed with practical effects or whatever, but there's a specific thing that keeps recurring in this movie that utilizes that effects very, very well. It's very subtle, and it's not like a CGI thing, don't get me wrong, but it's very, they use it in a very good way to emphasize a certain point with the film and in a certain direction as they were going to, kind of, like I said, emphasize the overall feeling as to how you felt. I mean, like I said, look, compared to watching something like Legion, there ain't nothing like Legion. That show is trippy. As far as the story is concerned and everything like that, it's really, like I said, the story's a really good story, and it like I said, the racism part of it, and that's truly really what the horror is. It's not so much what happens is horrific, because what happens is pretty intense. What the whole concept of what's going on in this is pretty intense without giving any spoilers. But what is really great about it, like I said, is the actual horror. And you heard them talk about this in the interview. If you've seen that interview, they mentioned this is a whole new type of racism, yo. A whole new type of racism, and it's like very, very, very creepy, scary, and I can actually see people doing this. Like this thing has created so much trust issues with me, yo, just from watching it. So they make that story in a very good way, and it's very impacting. So the story to me is 10 out of 10. I love that story. The story was great, and like I said, it wasn't nothing too cliche, and it had a lot of funny moments too, guys. The movie also had a lot of comedic moments as well. Daniel Kaluuya's friend, his friend in the movie was very comedic, and it had like this like I said, with the pacing, it went from very intense to just having slow comedic stuff. Normal people would say, if they some people would be like, hell nah, I ain't going in there. They had a lot of moments in this where people actually said, and they were like, they were saying a lot of things that we normally think when we see these things happen. Like, so it was really good. So all that story and pacing was actually, like I said, to me, in my opinion, was really good, and it was very effective, man. Just the certain elements, especially with the sound and everything all together and the flow of everything. It wasn't a boring story. It was always interesting, and the whole plot of it was very good. And it's only until the end you really understand what was going on. It's not as a masterpiece as Split was, but it definitely, it's not, let me masterpiece, not as confusing as Split was until the end you find out. But in this movie, at the end, certain things start to make sense, and you're like, oh wow. And like, this movie has a really huge twist, and like, I'm not gonna give it away or anything, but I kind of knew it was gonna happen. I kind of knew this was gonna happen in the film, so I wasn't too surprised when it did happen, but the way how they brought it in, whoa. So for those of you guys who saw the movie, you guys already know what I'm talking about. All in all, guys, out of a scale, I would give this movie a straight up A. I really enjoyed it, despite me not being a fan of horror films or anything like that. I really enjoyed this movie, and what I liked about it was just the concept of it was really good, and just the use of the camera work and the coloring, and just like I said, making certain close-up shots that make certain things really intense. Well, I love when filmmakers do that, man, and I like when filmmakers know how to tell a story, man. This, they know how to tell a story with this thing, man. Certain things that has you confused, and like I said, certain things you already know what's gonna happen, but it was great. Like I said, it had a lot of comedic moments in it too, as well, that also livened up certain things. So it was really good. Alrighty, guys, if you enjoyed my review, please don't forget to hit the like button. Leave your comments down below. Do not forget to subscribe. I do a lot of trailer reactions, trailer reviews, movie reviews, such as this one, movie news updates, and reactions and reviews of all types of different types of content, man. So if you're interested in any of those things and you're new, please make sure to subscribe. Leave your comments down below. Ring that notification bell on your way out, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you for taking your time out to watch this one. Clockmaster out. Arr!